My name is Charlotte of DIMOCO, and in this DIMOCO One-on-One, I'm delighted to be joined by three of my colleagues, all carrier billing experts and heavily involved in the iGaming front. Jay is, of course, a very familiar face to many operators in the iGaming sphere. You have probably met him at events such as Sigma Malta or SBC in Barcelona earlier this year, or in an MS Teams call. But what is sales without a strong backbone in the corporate head office? Therefore, we are joined by our service implementation manager, George, and our legal associate, Ivana, our sometimes somewhat hidden backbone of our iGaming expertise. But today we would like to share the stage with them, especially on the occasion of enabling mobile payment and the identity check in just one step for players in Germany, for the very first time, I may add. Can you describe carrier billing in a few simple words?
Sure. Hi, Charlotte. I think I can quickly explain that. So in principle, the player only needs to provide a valid mobile number. And when the user makes a deposit on the iGaming operator, based on his mobile number, DIMOCO bills the respective amount on the user's mobile carrier monthly bill or deducts it from a prepaid SIM card. When we discuss this from a user journey point of view, after the player clicks on the payment method in the cashier, he needs to go through a payment confirmation process with DIMOCO, and then the transaction is basically all done.
Yes, and before even offering direct carrier billing, one has to ask her or himself whether this should be done under the telecommunication exemption or a license. In case of the former, business would need to observe certain limitations of the Payment Service Directive. Otherwise, license is required. For DIMOCO, any scenario works because it holds a license issued by Austrian Financial Market Authority and acts as a payment institution throughout the EU, EEA. Offering direct carrier billing services as a licensed PSP, of course, adds value to the quality of its service. Another facet of direct carrier billing is, of course, cooperation with the MNOs. DIMOCO works with almost all large mobile network operators in Europe, such as O2 and Vodafone, and by doing so has yet another unique place on the market. As George mentioned, for the end user, direct carrier billing is basically inserting a phone number. But for operator, for DIMOCO, to be able to provide such a simple solution, it needs to analyze and implement legal requirements ranging from consumer protection laws, payment services laws, telecommunication laws, to sector-specific legislation, such as, for example, applicable to iGaming.
Yeah.
And we reached a giant milestone, as we currently are the only provider who can offer carrier billing in Germany, of course, one of Europe's largest online gambling markets. How is carrier billing treated in different gambling jurisdictions?
Part of DIMOCO's strategy and focus has always been enhancing our map of markets that we cover, with the latest addition being the newly regulated German market. With specific to this market, we have developed our solution to not only be as a strictly payment method, but to have an embedded KYC check and therefore being compliant with the regulation. So therefore players are not only able to simply deposit funds into their gambling accounts, but at the same time, based on the information that they enter upon registration of the gambling portal, will able to actually cross-check, cross-reference that information to an accurate database of the mobile carriers, and therefore ensure that the person who deposits funds is indeed the person who he claims he is. So therefore, this is a part of a more general strategy that we have when we explore new markets that we plan to operate in. Germany being the latest addition, as I mentioned, but there are more markets such as Greece, Spain that we're currently exploring and hopefully will add very soon to our coverage.
Yes, DIMOCO provides ongoing support to all parties involved. And over the years, DIMOCO did develop a knowledge base and collected practical experience when it comes to specifically iGaming. In iGaming context, DCB transaction involves not only a gaming operator and a payment service provider, but also the MNO. These parties, each of them is a highly regulated business. The iGaming merchant holds iGaming license and is subject to stringent requirements of their home jurisdiction and their licensing conditions. It is clear to us that offering DCB to iGaming merchants require deep understanding of challenges that iGaming industry faces on a daily basis, especially when it meets DCB world.
So carrier billing only requires the mobile phone number already saved when the users created the account with the iGaming platform to make a payment and identify themselves on the gambling operator's page, and therefore contrasts with card-based schemes or payments, as no additional data must be added. But of what I gather, it can be an acquisition tool too.
That is indeed a very good argument. iGaming operators face quite a bit of competition, so therefore it's essential for them to differentiate themselves. Carrier billing can actually open up the new market potential that they are missing out, and therefore that means new acquisition. Simply by the fact that an end user only is required to provide his mobile phone number, and also based on the fact that some end users might not feel comfortable with disclosing their credit card information or their bank information. Therefore, the carrier billing can really be the tool that can help somebody when it comes to acquisition and new player potential that they are currently missing out.
Mm-hmm. And so, George, what are the exact steps for gambling operators when signing a contract with DIMOCO?
Yeah, well, the very first step to begin collaboration with DIMOCO is KYC. The gambling operator just goes through a KYC process with us, and once that is done, we start in parallel an approval process with the mobile carrier and proceed with the technical integration of the DIMOCO API. But in most onboarding cases, we don't actually need the full integration of the DIMOCO API, as DIMOCO is already available on the number of iGaming-focused PSPs. So in these scenarios, we basically just provide the API credentials that allow the iGaming provider to enable the payment method in the cashier.
Mm-hmm. A safe payment bet indeed for both player acquisition and retention. When are the next occasions to personally get in touch with you guys?
I think that with the COVID situation, we have things quite a bit, we face quite a bit of uncertainty, but we will certainly see each other during ICE, SBC, and at Sigma as well at the end of the year.
So we'll all hope COVID has mercy on us and you'll be able to meet in person soon again. But obviously, MS Teams is always a good alternative. Thank you very much for sharing your iGaming insights with me today.
Anytime.
Thank you very much.